Right. Yes. Okay. Right now, I think so. We may try to finish today itself the entire the session of corporate banking, and I don't know whether I think I gave institution for assignment also. So we will, if the time permit, we will discuss the assignment as well, right? And we are trying to cover the relationship, uh, managing relationship, the final part, and that is what you call uh, custom experience, right? Okay, right. So let me now start the topic. Right. Okay. So today what we are going to discuss the customer experience, right? Now we have learned there are three types of CRM basically. One is we call them as operational CRM. What do you mean by an operational CRM? Focus on the automations of customer facing processes. Focus on the automations of customer facing processes such as selling, marketing, and customer services. That's the operational CRM. And then we discuss analytical CRM. So, what do you mean by an analytical CRM? And it is the process through which organization transform customer related data into actionable insight for either strategic or tactical purposes. That basically simply saying we try to analyze the customer based on the information, right? So that is called analytical CRM. The third CRM is usually we call them as a strategic CRM, collaborative or sometimes we call, but specifically the strategic CRM. So the core customer centric business strategy that aims at winning and keeping a profitable customers. So that is the business strategy. We talk about the strategic CRM point of view, right? There are three areas: the strategic CRM, operational CRM, and analytical CRM. So customer experience comes under the strategic CRM perspective, right? Under strategic CRM perspective, because the strategic CRM is basically expected core customers business strategies aimed at winning and keeping the profitable customers. Those are the things comes under strategic CRM. Therefore, the customer experience comes under the purview of strategic CRM. Okay, right. Now you noted that there is a growing recognition. There is a growing uh, recognition, right? That customer experience throughout the life cycle. Now that is a growing recognitions today that customer experience throughout the life cycle. So therefore, today the banks and other companies are becoming more interested in managing and improving customer experience. So that means the customer experience play an important area in businesses today. There are four areas banks are now has to be concerned. One area is risk management. So a lot of risk techniques are incorporated to the organization because risk factor play an important role. Another important factor is what you call the customer experience. That means providing a better customer service. Now, companies like McDonald's, so they keep on increasing their processes and their all the activities to improve the customer services. Right? So therefore, today the next competitive battleground is customer experience. The next competitive battleground is customer experience. Now, what is customer experience? Now, you need to learn some new things also. Now, sometimes if you read modern papers or modern articles about this customer experience, so they won't talk as customer experience. Now, like SWOT analysis, right? Earlier we talk about the SWOT analysis. Now the modern buzzword today for SWOT analysis we call corporate appraisal, like that, right? Another name for same thing. But for customer experience, now a modern way we talk about CX. Remember, CX. If you want, just write in front of the customer experience, letter C and capital X, right? CX indicate a customer experience. If somebody talks about the CX, so what do you mean by CX? Is customer experience. C, capital X, right? CX, right? That is called customer experience. Right. Now, if you define what is customer experience, and it is a sum total of experiences, sum total of experience that a customer perceive through his or her mind about the organization's products, services, and processes. Right? So remember what is customer experiences mean? Now the sum total of experiences that customer perceives through his mind about organization, product and services and process. Now I'll give a very simple example. When a customer comes to open an account, right, he may come for meet first from the security guard, from your parking security guard entrance, comes to the queue, and then get in touch with your employees till such time you get the passbook, till go out. He's having some experiences, he perceives some experiences. That is what you call sum total of experiences gain. Right? The level of experience that a customer derives depend on largely on attributes or the facility you are giving to the customer. And that would result in customer retention and satisfaction. Entire process, how you treat him, not only from the contact point, till he took the account, move out from your branch, and the entire experience we call customer experience. Right? Now, there may be a lot of definitions on the customer experience, and actually it is a cognitive and affecting outcome. If you really use more technical, more sophisticated word, what do you mean by a customer experience? Is a cognitive and affecting outcome of what? Outcome of the customer's exposure to or interactions with companies or banks, people, process, technology, maybe product and services, and other outputs. So everything. The moment you say, what do you mean by a cognitive? Cognitive, there are two CX. Now, when I talk about the CX, mind you, I am referring to customer experience, right? So you also need to learn all these new jargons. CX. Now, CX has two components. One is cognitive impression. Now, the moment you say cognitive, something coming in your mind, cognitive. Other one is effective impressions. The cognitive impressions mean a belief, thought or something. And effective impression mean feeling, attitudes, and things like that. So both cognitive and effective impressions are deciding the value and quality of your service. So both together we call them as TCE. TCE means total customer experience, right? Now, because of the cognitive impression, effective impression will lead for what? For value and quality. So last week we discussed how to create value for your offer, right? Now this value play an important role for your customer experience. Clear? Right? So they may be little new areas, but try to understand, right? So another way we can look at it, customer experience, right? I'll just give you a very simple definition, but there are something you need to know, right? Another way you can think about CX, and it is a customer subjective responses to the holistic, direct and indirect encounter with the customer. Direct or indirect encounter with the customer. Now, how customer look at it, how customer feel it, customers subjective responses. So you may come three type of encounters in that sense. One is communication encounter, how you get the message from your organization, say your bank. That is a communication encounter. The second one, service encounter. So once you go to the counter or maybe to the bank, get something done. So that is what your experience we call servicing encounter. Third one, suppose you purchase something, right? And that is what you call, say, consumption encounter, right? So therefore, you have to, when you need to provide a better customer service, so you need to give all these three things. So that is what you call customer encounter, customer experience. And I think you have already learned, because we are offering what? We are offering a service. We are not offering a product. So therefore, banks have a something little more difficulties. Customers, banks have faced little more difficulties because of, as we learned earlier, because of special characteristics of service. So that is intangible dominant, inseparable, heterogeneous, and perishable. Those are specific characteristics of service. So make it very difficult to provide a better service, and through that service only customer obtains some experiences. Right? I think now you understood clearly. So what do you mean by customer experience? Right? If you, why customer experience? If you ask somebody ask, so why we need to study customer experience? Because CX, remember, influences future behavioral and word of mouth, and is a co-product that customers buy or differentiate value from others. So that is why we need to provide a better customer service every time the customer get touch with bank, so you exposed to subjective responses and sum total of experiences that customer pursue, we call them as a customer experience. I hope I give you a very broad, simple and sophisticated definitions about the customer experience. Okay, right? So any things you need to clarify about customer experience, right? You know me, so we don't have to chance to communicate with each other physically, so we are going through online. So therefore, please don't feel shy to talk to me. If you're not understood, please tell me, I will explain it to you again. Okay, I have some names here, but only I can see only few names here, right? Right. So I hope you understood, right? I'll just randomly check some people and ask, please send your chat or maybe unmute and just say yes or no, right? Okay. Amali. Now, Amali, you got what is custom experience? You understood what is custom experience? Amali. Hmm? No kata, Amali. Yes? Right. Amali, what do you think? Okay, we'll ask Ama.
Understood, sir.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I like to have a responses like this. Then only we can have a mutual relationship, right? Okay. Now there's a small in issues in the handout, right? Handout. I don't know why it just happened. Then so the really you have to you have to label, right? Oh, otherwise I can send you a fresh one, but it's difficult to take it, no, so it doesn't matter. You can say custom experience as number one. The second one, you say, now on the contrary, then the level of custom experience, as I told you, right? And this is, I'll explain to you, and that's the second tune. And the third one is there in your look at the little there are maybe 24th, you look at it, uh, that is there in the page number 6. If you want to get it in 4, see whether this one in your handout, 3D approach, right? So you have to label it that as 3. Okay, so I don't know why it has gone to there's something happened. It has gone to slide number 24, but it should be slide number 3. Clear? You got it? Have you found? Have you found that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay, no? Right. Okay, thank you. Right. Right. Now we will discuss from that point, right? 3D approach for achieving high level of uh, yeah, 3D approach for achieving a high level of customer experience. Now, how can you improve your customer experience? One way you can do by improving basically two things. No, what are the two things you're going to improve? One is the quality, and the next one we say the quality and the value, right? That is the cognitive impression, and the other one we call effective impression, right? Okay, how can you do that, right? Depends, that is the attributes of the product delivered to him. So what are the things we offer you? So that is one side is value. If the level of customer experience high, it would result customer retention. So we will later part we are going to discuss what is customer acquisition and what is customer retention. It's a very simple thing. It is very difficult to get the new customers and it is very costly, but it is very cheap to keep your customer with you. So that is customer retention. So in order to retain your customer, so customer need to satisfy. Now, how customer going to retain with you? How you are going to satisfy your customer? Providing a better value and services. So how can you give value and services quality? Through that's we call customer experience. If you give more value, more quality service, your customer experience is going to go up, right? So therefore, remember, we need to look at it customer. Uh, we to look at it the customer experiences. Now, sometimes technically we call them as um, experience economy. Sometimes, some technical words, right? Experience economy. How many of you have heard about service quality model? So I'm not going to explain that in detail, but what do you know about service quality model, which is developed by, sometimes we call them as PZB model. So what is PZB mean? Basically, the three guys who discovered this model. One is we call Parasuma and Setmal and Berry, one Indian guy and two English guys, right? And these three guys together, they come up with service quality model. So they have identified 5 dimensions of a service quality. 5 dimensions. One is we call the reliability. First dimension is called reliability. The second dimension is called tangible. Tangible. Third dimension called assurance. Third dimension we call assurance. The fourth dimension we call empathy. Empathy. Just give me a minute. Huh? Hello. Uh, I am at right. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. So, uh, so remember the what is service quality model? These three things: the reliability, tangibility, assurance, empathy, and the last one is responsiveness. So if you any organization can give these determinants or these dimensions to the customer, so that means you are giving a better customer service. The moment you give a better customer service, the level of experience, customer experience is going to go up. Right? Okay, let's look at it now. So in order to do that, sometimes we use 3D approach. Okay, 3D approach. Now, what do you mean by a 3D approach? So the first one we'll say designing the right offer. So we need to understand what the customer wants in terms of quality, price, everything. So are we offering a right offer? So that is first D, designing the right offer. Second one, delivering value. Second one, delivering value. So involving providing a set of products advantages to customer, excellent customer support and after sales service. So things like that. Third D is we call developing potential. not only giving the product and services, we need to continuously improve, including regular customer feedback, policy, and success matrix. Now, one of my friend working at some Canada bank. Now his job, you see, is call customers, nothing else. Is acting as a relationship officer. He called his customer base, the main customers. So he called, say, 1 year, he may contact, they have given a target, so number of customers. Now I'll ask from him one he came back to Sri Lanka for a holiday. I'll ask him what I joined. I said my job is telephone customers. I said what are talking to customers? No, I have the dashboard with me. I just asking them, Madam, are you okay? Are you satisfied? Are there any product you need to give it to you? Something like that. So that is a developing potential, right? So people like the customer's feedback. So somebody want to talk to, right? Our call centers also to some extent like that. But most of the time, what happen? Our call centers, rather than calling, they are answering any problems. But the call center can be used not only to provide service to the customers, but some call centers are now call the customers and ask about their views. So that's a 3D approach. What are the 3D approach? Designing the right offer, delivering value, developing potential. These are the 3D approach. Now, from these 3D approach, what we try to do, improve the value, improve the quality through service quality model. About the 5 Ps we talk about: reliability, assurance, tangibility, empathy, and responsiveness. Also try to give better customer service. So all these three things improve the customer experience, because customer experience today be considered as the factor, right? That is be very difficult to copy by another competitor. That is why customer experience play an important role. Very difficult to copy, right? Now you see the importance of 3D approach for improve your customer experiences. Right. I hope you understood that part as well. Okay, right. Now going back again. So in order to provide a better customer experience, so we are using 3D approach. What do you mean by 3D approach? Giving a right product, right design, delivering value, and developing potential. Right? To support this 3D, we give better service quality by use of what you call the PSB model, that is called Parasuman, Setmal, and Berry model, collectively call them as service quality model. Right. So now you have some sort of an idea about what is customer experience, what you can do to build a customer experience. Right. Next point. Now again, I think again, sorry for this one. So this is in your handout, right? It is available in your handout. I don't know, it has gone to some other place. I don't know how it moved into another place. It is there. See whether you got this slide as well. Then it is very better to go on that way. You can understand rather than going here and there. Okay, have you found that? Have you found that one? Customer experience management. Right, now I'm still having all these. Okay, Vilas. Got it, no? Right. 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 Okay. Now let's move into that part, right? Okay. Right. Custom experience management. Now there's nothing that we now learn what is custom experience. How can you improve the customer experience? We will discuss little more on that. That is CM. So we need to manage this one, right? Right? We need to manage this one. That is why I call custom experience management. It's a domain of CRM. So we deals the collections of processes used by an organization to record, observe, organize every interaction that take place between the customers and the organization. So that means basically, so we are trying to manage every contact point about the customers getting with the bank. So therefore, CM encompasses three important concepts, right? We call them as three things: customer touch point, customer touch points. Second one, moment of truth. And the third one, we call them as an engagement. As an engagement. Now let me now try to explain to you what you mean by touch points, moment of truth, and engagement. Clear? Right. Now we need to manage all these three things. Every contact points. Right. First, now whenever we call them as okay, next one. So whenever customer come into virtual or concrete contact, those things we call touch points. We call touch points. So therefore, the touch points refer to the situation when customers come into contact with an organization, with their product, or may their services, places, people, process, or technology. Whatever way the customer get in touch with you, we call them as touch points. So the moment of truth mean, I'll just further explain later on. Moment of truth mean create an impression on a customer about an organization. It may be negative or maybe a positive moment of truth. Third one, customer engagement involves creating a customer's emotional and rational response. Right. Now, I last week I told you customers are, or people rather, or customers are emotional customers. All customers are emotional. They're not rational. Why? Now, in according to the Buddhist uh, theory, right? I put it in Sinhala, dukkha, right? දුක ඇතිවීමට හේතු. අපි මේවා ඔක්කොම අපි කියනට චතුරාර්ය සත්‍ය අරව මේවා කියලා කියනවනේ. Right, I'm apologizing for other religion students, but they also have the same thing. දුක ඇති වෙන්න හේතුව. දැන් මේවා අවබෝධ කරගත්තම අපිට අඬන්න බෑනේ. අපිට දුක හිතෙන්න බෑ. අපි ජීවිතේ යථාර්ථය දන්න නිසා. But If something happened to us, if you see nice girl or nice boy, or nice product, nice services, nice car, nice thing, so we talk about that. We feel, how are you? Lassana bottle leg. Nice perfume, nice car, nice watch, nice shirt, nice frock. Why we are telling? If something happened, if somebody will blackguard you, you cry. Why we behave like that? Because we are emotional customers. All are emotional customers. So therefore, right, we need to look at it. So customer engagement means creating customers' emotional and rational response to the organization based on the moment of truth and the touch points of the customers, how they behave, right? Okay, let's look at it now. The concept of touch points and moment of truth. Now, now, I read an article, National Savings Bank of Australia, right? National Savings Bank of Australia had around 12, 15 touch points they have identified. They have identified points where customer get in more customer touch points, right? So what are the area, what are the places they are going to come get in touch points? Now say for an example, some example, your website, right? Your service center, your contact center, exhibition sometimes, trade shows, retail stores, sales calls. Like this, there may be a different touch points every organization we have. Now take for an example for bank. Take for an example for bank. What are the touch points? Right? What are the touch points? Right? Security. Count as told you, those are touch points. Even for your websites, even for your call center, even for your security touch points. Right? Okay, now another example I have got it here. If a customer goes to hospital, now what are the touch points? What are the customer touch points? Right? Customer touch points are basically admission, ward, surgery, discharge. So these are main your touch points. In the case of a restaurant, ambience food, hygiene. So these are some of the customers' touch points. So we need to understand and also to ensure each and every point is important for customer. Now think customer come to take a house in law. So you know it is a series of activities. It's a process. No, first you come to the branch or maybe go for head office customer point, branch credit division, so whatever you call, or in the branch credit part, right? So some touch points are very good, but sometimes it goes to the legal, the touch point is worse because they are not bothered about whether you get a loans or not. They want to see whether your documents are in order, right? They are not bothered about you. So that is the touch point is customer lust. So they talk about bad things about your offer of your process, right? All things are good. One area is very bad, but customer experience means so we need to give each and every touch point the same level of services, right? Okay, so that's the important thing. Now, the term, the moment of truth, actually, this concept first introduced by Richard Neumann, but is more popularized by the a person called Jan Carlson. He's the guy who even the Richard was introduced this concept, but it is more make it more popularized among the banking community and the business community by the Jan Carlson. It's another guy, but don't worry about, just for your information, right? And also remember, uh, what mean is an event that creates an impression on a customer about an organization, as I told you earlier, right? So how he in getting interact with every touch points, he get an impression. So suppose you have to go for 10 touch points, every touch points you got good, what do you buy? So then your MOT is good. Even though අර ඕකට සිංහලෙන් කතාවක් තියෙනවා. මොකද්ද? කිරි දොවලා අර ගොම පොඩ්ඩක් දැම්ම වගේ. මොකද අර මුළු කිරි එකම වැඩක් නැතිය. ඒ වගේ තමයි. Right? Entire process. So one point can create emoji. So MOT may be a possible. I'm just put it. MOT mean moment of truth, right? So like CX, right? Okay, MOT is basically maybe positive or negative impression based on what his experience. So what you need to know for bank, if you want to have a better customer service, customer experience in your branch, you need to look at every touch points where you go around. Some banks are developed what you call a blueprint for that. So I will explain those things later on. How can you monitor that? Things like that. How can you improve your customer service? So all things we will discuss little later on. Right? Now, for instance, the customer calls an organization to register a complaint regarding a product or something, your lost card or lost credit card or something. So organization failed to solve the customer's problem, lead to a negative moment of truth. Now, you know, the lot of banks are having call centers. Lot of banks are having call centers. So the call center itself become a negative moment of truth. Why? So you need to hang around unless otherwise toll-free number. You know what do you mean by a toll-free? The sometimes, so if I take that number, it's a toll-free. I don't want to pay. That the receiver will pay. Right? Otherwise, you have to pay and wait. Now, you can listen to nice song sometimes. And they say, welcome to call center. Welcome or something, they give an introduction. If you say, if you're lost card or something, call to come. Then they will ask, if you want to communicate with English, place 1. English singular, place 2. Tamil 3. Right now you are listening. Then all things were after that, what you are hearing. No, I'm just telling you some experience about these call centers, right? No, then after that, what you are hearing? All our customer relations officers are busy. Please hold on. We will give you the next guy. Then again they tell you, for provide a better customer service, we may be recorded your conversation. Now, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Now, that is what you call in Sri Lanka. Remember, it is not so stuff. But other places, you cannot record your telephone conversations. without asking from you a permission, right? So uh, that is what you call opt-in option, OPT, opt-in options. You can file actions against you, but not in Sri Lanka. So you cannot record any telephone conversation. Now we have a lot of issues on that. No, now you may, when I say somebody has recorded certain telephone conversation, you heard who maybe, but in Sri Lanka it's not. But in other countries you cannot. That is why you give permission. Now you get a lot of SMSs, from different bank, different organization, right? And down there you noted that if you want to stop that, please call. Otherwise they keep on sending. The moment they said stop at SMSs, stop at, there's something. If you don't want to receive this, please call or inform. So thereafter you can't send it. But in Sri Lanka, legal expecting that is not so powerful. But America is very strong. So that option is called opt-in. Now coming back to the issue, how your call center provide to give a better customer service, but it's become a thought. Why? MOT, because what is why? Because you have to hang on to get somebody. You call 6, 7 banks and see how long you take. Now these corona times difficult to buy. Only few people are working, no? But some banks are provide a better service. I don't want to mention certain banks, especially the sometimes maybe some common banks, maybe, right? So you need to hang around, hang around, hang around. And another important things. Now I will tell you another things. Now these guys also in the call center guys also put your boss's telephone number recorded. I just tell you a good example. Now our call center guys know, suppose your boss is an operation DGM. Now operation DGMs also sometimes call center and see whether what is good or bad. Moment of truth, whether you are promptly answering the calls and something. But you see, when you call your bosses call, you are answering. Why? Because you have recorded that telephone number. So you give prompt services. So then boss want to call you, boss need to call from a separate unknown number. So these are some tactics and some practical example I am telling. So how your call center become the uh, call center become uh, the negative MOT, right? Okay, so I think what I told you, the practical real time examples. So more MOT will take place from your call center itself, right? So going back from here to customer engagement. So these three things we call them as uh, key concept of customer experience: touch points, moment of truth, and customer engagement. Customer engagement, right? So as I told you, a customer engagement involves creating a customer's emotional and rational response to the organization. Now let's look at it. Some dimension, some dimensions of customer engagements. I don't know whether I have research. I have add some more slides, right? So it is maybe not in your handout, but doesn't matter. Just for your understanding, right? What are the dimension of customer engagement? You need to think, right? One is we call cognitive. So the one, does the customers know your brand values? Does the customer know about our sustainability awards. So we know about our steps and things like that's a cognitive aspects. So emotional aspects. Does the customer like the experience offered by our firm? Next, the behavioral. How often does the customer visit our website? How often does the customer visit our branch? Right? A social aspect, social dimension about engagement. So customers like our Facebook page. So they joined our Twitter conversations and things like that. So these are how you get customer engagement. That is why a lot of organizations are having a separate social media points people to talk Twitter, right? So you can add anything. Now why? Because it's involvement. So this we call them as four eyes, four eyes of four eyes of uh, customer engagement, four eyes of customer engagement. So what do you mean by involvement? Involvement mean a customer present. When a customer present at a touch point, we call involved. Now example. Now customer touch point, remember, not necessary to customers to come to your branch. So through advertisements also at one customer touch point where customer and your bank are meeting. So the involvement mean when a customer present at a touch point, we call involved. Those are we call them as four eyes. Otherwise we call how to measure customer experiences. Now these four eyes, we call them as four eyes, helps companies to determine whether CX objectives are being achieved. Right? Customer experience objective are achieved. Four eyes. So what is involvement mean basically is indicated when a customer present at a touch point. So example, maybe advertising, right? Maybe newsletter, whatever. That is why you need to create a better TV advertisements, nice advertisement. Second point is what you call interaction. Interactions mean focuses on what the customer does at the touch point. What the customer does at the touch point. So how banks will do? Maybe some organization will do pre-samples, offers, right? Comment on social media, post an idea, post some post also you can do. So that is how they talk about interactions. Right? Third one is intimacy. Now, intimacy means the emotional sentiment of the customers towards touch point experience. That is a sentimental things. So there, of course, you can say um, satisfaction scores. Now, when you go for to the say Sampath Bank, I'm not promoting one bank, right? Sampath Bank. So there is a three columns. One is uh, are you satisfied our service? They say three three shapes. So you put only some button. So indication is count. End of the day, how many people have satisfied, how many people have not satisfied. Now I'll give you a classic example how supermarkets like Kales have done this such research. How they do it, how they measure interactions and the intimacy, how they do. Now every teller, I mean from the not from the bank, from usually it is done uh, by by the counter girls, right? And they have a three small piece of round plastic gadgets. One green, next one is yellow, other one is red. Now, when the customer comes to your billing counter, they usually ask, "අයිබෝවන් කොහොමද සර් අපේ සර්විස් එක හොඳද? අපේ බඩු තියෙන විදිය හොඳද නැත්නම් සර්විස් එක හොඳද?" And he tells, he's not bothered about that lady, counter girl, right? He said, "වරදක් නැහැ." So under his table, under his counter, there are three baskets. So then he said, "Varadak ne." So you take the yellow one and put into that basket. If some customers are superb and then take the green one and put into another basket, or maybe the same basket. Then is red. Worse, you worse, terrible. Then you put the red. Right. Now this is now you know this testing is very costly, but this is free of charge. So the ladies who are working, they do the things. Now, during his 8-hour period, how many customers are he is going to meet? Huge number, no? Like where there are 5-6 counters, right? They can also think how many customers are visiting per day for the branch, to the supermarket, right? End of the day, they collect all these coins. They count how many have said good, take the counter of green, and then next one is red. Like that, they count. 100 people visit, how many people say good, how many say not bad, how many say terrible. So from that information, it's a basic information. And then they go for further investigation through a research company. And when the customers comes, they'll ask, so some one-to-one questions. Why you say not bad? Because of not from the same guys. Now you have an idea. Maybe due to your parking problem, maybe your goods are not available in the counters, or maybe racking is problem, right? Counters are problems like that. Okay, so that is, you take the customer involvement, that is called intimacy. The next one is influence. Influence means advocacy behavior of the customers, right? So to what extent they talk positively to the others, right? And some get-togethers, they talk, comment to people like that. So those are, we call them as 4 Ys, right? That is customer engagement. Now, say for an example, involvement, the first one, say advertising impressions, that is the first one, involvement, right? The second, interaction, right? How you look at it, they offer some social media, some comments in social media, provide samples, things like that. Intimacy mean satisfaction scores you're going to measure as an explain something, and influence mean you may communicate to others, right? Contents embedded in blogs and things like that. Okay, these are some of the things you can do to improve your customer engagement, right? Okay, now we learn up to this point. What are the things we learn? We discuss in detail, right? We will see whether you understood up to now what we have discussed, right? First, we discuss what is customer experience, right? What is customer experience? Then we discuss why customer experience, why CX is important, right? Now, it is a modern area every institutions can concentrate on. Only thing you cannot copy, and we discuss the CX expects impressions of cognitive and effectives, right? So then we discuss how to improve the CX. We discuss service quality model and 3Ds approach, right? We discuss 3D approach. And then we discuss how to manage this customer experience, right? So there we identify three important concept, key three important concept. What are the three important concept we need to manage in customer experience? One is customer touch points. Then we discuss what is customer touch points and things like that. Then we discuss emoji. Second one is emoji, that is the what we call moment of truth, right? And the third one we call customer engagement. So under customer engagement, so we discuss few things. What is customer engagement? So first dimension about the customer engagement, we discuss cognitive, emotional, behavior, and social. And four eyes, that mean, so what do you mean by a four eyes? The customer engagement, that is uh, involvement, interactions, intimacy, and influence, right? These are the things up to now we have discussed, right? Now we try to move into another area, so where we discuss what are the methods for improving customer experience. What are the methods for improving customer experience? Now your slides then and there, right? Please adjust it accordingly, right? Customer experience, what are the methods for improving customer experience? Now, it is important for organization to achieve a high level of customer experience. So, different methods are used by different organizations. Now, for an example, we say mystery shopping, experience mapping, process mapping, customer activity cycle, participant and non-participant observation, right? Now, let's now see these activities of these what you call methods in detail, thereby how you can improve your customer experience, right? Now, first we'll take the mystery shopping. Now, this is not a novel concept. Actually, this was developed by Sri Lankan. We have heard about lot of stories about King's time about this mystery shopping. But one bank, I can't tell you the name, is heavily used by this method. Now, what is, if you talk about this mystery shopping, in King's time, you may be not uh, see a lot of dramas now like that, but when we are very small, maybe a lot of dramas, right? King is coming and asking the the ministries. අපි කියන්නේ රජා ඇවිල්ලා අර ඇමති මණ්ඩලයෙන් අහනවා ඇමතිවරුනි මාගේ රටවැසියා දැන් සුවෙන් යහපතින් සිටීද? Now kings want to find it out whether his administration and his citizens are living very happily. එතකොට මොකද කියන්නේ ඇමතිගොල්ලෝ? එසේය ස්වාමීනි ඔබේ රටවැසියා යහපතින් ඉතාමත් සතුටින් කල් ගෙවනු ලැබේ. Now kings having a problem. He want to find it out whether these fellows are telling the truth or not. රජතුමා මොකද කරන්නේ? What is doing now? එයා වෙස් වලාගෙන රැට යනවා. තමුන්ගේ ගමේ තමුන්ගේ රාජධානියේ මේ ඇමතිවරු කියන එක හරිද කියලා හොයන්න. So that is the history of this mystery shopping. It's not a novel thing. Same way, we want is a research technique. Organization try to understand the customer experience. Now here what happened is a very classic good example. Now you can hand it over these functions to a research company, right, to conduct the mystery shopping. That means the research guy comes to your branch, act as a real customer, and he want to get a feedback from your branch how you treated that customer. Then customer is not a real customer, is a dummy, but act as a customer, comes to your branch and asking whether how some questions. So check whether your employees are having some knowledge about your product. Somebody has to unmute your mic, Puta, right? Okay. Or mute it, right? Okay. So they'll ask. So they usually get the feedback. How long it'll take to open an account? What is the courtesy of your employees? Everything you can get it from your branch. Usually, thereby you can see whether your customer experience you can count through mystery shopping. Now, how once this report now say Piliyandala branch of X bank. Now there may be a lot of complaints are coming from Piliyandala branch to the management, very bad and poor service and things. So you can use the mystery shopping, and you can send some people and get views about that it is true. Then he comes and tells you about yes, it's true. You can talk to the manager and you can do some adjustment, right? So this is how you can improve your customer experience, use of mystery shopping. So for that, sometimes some people are questionnaires and audio video recordings also will do, right? But you have to do it in a very much in a acceptable manner, right? So you can't record certain things unethical manner, right? Even for your the cameras now, CT cameras also now, you can to some extent you can use to see whether your services are providing a better way. But most of the time the CTV camera we are using for find out some mistakes, right? Not for that. For good things also your CCTV camera can be used, right? Next one is what you call the experience mapping, right? The second method you can use, the experience mapping. Now this method you can gain a deeper understanding of customer experience and customer touch points, right? You can learn through tools such as focus groups, face-to-face interviews, telephone interviews. You can get a idea about uh, experience you obtain and identify the gaps, and then thereby you are trying to basically reduce this gap. Now I'll give you an example of experience mapping in a hotel. Right now, think on this ground. Right now, these are the process to make reserve hotel. Right, make reservation, arrive at hotel, stay at hotel, leave the hotel. These are the normal way for any tourist. No, make reservation, arrive at hotel, stay. So arrive at that hotel. First is park car, come for checking. Those are the three: arrive at hotel, bags to room. Now you take from the check-in counter, right? So what sort of experience you are gaining? Greeting, requests, reservation details. If you make the reservation, you ask from Mr. So and so, provide your reservation details. So then you take the card, you save the card because to as a guarantee, and then you are register, then hand over the key to the customer and say thank you. Now you see that these are the what you call experience mapping. So what does the customer want to happen? What should the receptionist do? What skill, knowledge, and attitudes are needed to perform this job? What technological support in this? I'm only referring to the check-in in a hotel. Right now, you see where which, even though that is not a big process, but still you can further divided this one and see how can you improve your services. Now you can take for a bank also like that, right? How long you take for housing loan, take for FD renewal, or take a credit card, or whatever your actions, you can bring it into components and see how you can improve customer experience, touch points. What you need to know, what are the areas you need to be improved through experience mapping. I understood. Mystery shopping, the first one. The second one, we call them as experience mapping, right? And so those are the advantage of using the experience mapping method. So you can analyze the overall customer experience, identify customer satisfaction level, and try to fill these gaps, right? What is the second method where you can use to improve your customer experience? First one is what you call mystery shopping. The second one, we call them as experience mapping. Now the third one, we call them as process mapping. Process mapping, method that provide a graphical representations of processes to be performed for developing good customer experience. Now, sometimes when you go to some organization, they will tell you what to do the process. One, two, three. First, you go to this. Second, third, fourth, like that. Something like that. So that is mean the process mapping. So make it easy. Otherwise, you need to go one pillar to another pillar you to get some information. Process mapping. Now you see the process mapping. You can see when you go for to the certain theme parks, zoo. So you have a given directions. Start with 1, 2, 3 like that is a process mapping. Your customized experience. Otherwise, you come to the same place. So this we call process mapping, right? Another method, that is the fourth method, we call customer activity cycle. So customer activity cycle represents stages that the customers undergo while making buying decisions. So we will support him deciding what to do, implementing the decisions, reviewing what was done. So organization generally strive to record customer experience at each stage of the customer activity cycle and see whether, right, improving the cycle, right? Usually is deciding what to do, making involving in making decision, what services or what products, suppose you come to deposit the money, what is the suitable product for customer, right? So you can think on that ground. So that is what you call customer activity cycle. That process we call them as customer activity cycle. Right. Right. Now, how many things we learn up to now? One is we call them as method. This is what we are discussing now. Methods for improving customer experience. So one method we use mystery shopping. The second method, experience mapping. Third one, we call them as process mapping. And the fourth one we call customer activity cycle. The next method you can say participant observations. Now, this refers to one of the important methods for improving customer experience. This called the participant observation is a tool used by an organization to record customer experience by interacting directly with customers. Now, I'll tell you a classic example. I don't know whether in Sri Lanka, but in other countries, the McDonald's. Now, McDonald's, remember the managers or the senior managers need to work with the crew, need to work with crew. That means the people who are providing food and services to customers. Now, then managers need to get the first-hand information about the customers. That is what you call participant observation. Right? And again, as I told you earlier, you can see whether call center or whether your customer complaint procedure is really addressing. You can call center and just put some points or some to see whether your call center people knowledge about the products. You can just ask something, some product. You see what call center people are telling you. So those are we call participant observation. And as a bank manager, how you can do that? Sometimes your manager may be in his room, but a good manager, remember, every day may go and be with the counters. Not necessarily, he may be just hang around some minutes every day in the counter lobby area. See how your tellers are working. Not necessary to manager to be there, but manager need sometimes they need to be there with your staff at the front office, especially the lobby area. And he go and out and ask, okay, somebody is waiting there. So you can ask from why you are waiting. So what is your problem? So thereby you improve your customer experience. So managers, not necessary to be, you're not necessary to go into the counter, but you can walk around. This is sometimes we call management by walking around. Sometimes there's a technique called in the management by walking around. රවුමත් දාලා එනවා. ගිහිල්ලා එන්නම් බලලා එන්න. ඉතින් නැද්ද? එක තැනම ඉන්නකොට මැනේජර් පුටු ඉන්නකොට ලෙඩක් වැඩි. So you go management by walking around. Not only managing the employees, but also you can get some improve in your customer experiences by using that. That is what you call participant observations. Participant observation. Right? So these are small things. Small thing, but you can do it for yourself. The next one, indirect or what you call non-participant observation. They are not involving in the direct interaction with customers, but observe customer experience from distance location. Right? You can listen to the managers, customers' calls, and also sometimes how many of you as top people will listen to the conversation or the complaint is coming from to the call center. Now you say, in order to provide a better customer service, your calls are recorded. So how many calls are you are going to hear? All these call centers. So there's a good things and the bad things. Some customers are regarding call center guys. So then you know there is some problem. So that is the customer experience. I don't know. There are call centers. All call centers are recorded certain conversations. But how many people, how many managers are going to listen to those things? So those are some of the non-participant observation. Now, these are the techniques can be used by you for improve your customer experiences, improving customer experience. But there's another methods we call ethnographic method, but it is not much. Watching and asking. That is what you call ethnographic methods, but sometimes people they watching and asking, right? Okay, right. These are some of the techniques you can use for customer experience, right? Okay. Right. Let me now see whether you understood that part, right? So what we have discussed now, we discussed that part, methods for improving customer experiences, right? Next point we discuss what are the methods available for us to improve the customer experience. So the one method we discuss in detail, mystery shopping. So we discuss what do you mean by mystery shopping, how can you use it, or how can you do that, right? Okay. Then Next one is what you call experience mapping. I give you an example in the hotel checking. So use the same example for your bank, right? That is experience mapping. Third one, the process mapping. Third one, process mapping. The next one we discuss in little detail, customer activity cycle. Customer activity cycle. And the last two methods we discuss, participant and non-participant observation. So the participant observation is used by especially the McDonald's. So your senior managers work with crew. That crew means the people who provide all these services, and they may ask some questions if they want, right? And sometimes non-participant observation mean, example for that I can quote you. So the recorded video clips. So even you can look at it from your branch. There's a CCTV camera. You can see, right? Get an idea. Or you can call center, and that is participant observation. Other one is you listen to the conversation recorded by your call center and see what sort of complaints are coming, what sort of problem customers are facing. They will talk. So there's a principle, uh, there's a statement. Only 10% of your dissatisfied customers are only complain. See, 90% of your dissatisfied customers are not complain. So they are not telling anything, and they move out from your bank, or maybe branch shopping, or branch shopping, or bank switching, or something. So it's an ideal opportunity for you to improve your experience, customer experience, by applying some of these things. Right. Next one. Okay. Okay, clear now? Right? Have you understood? Dhananjani? Asalaka?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. Right. Now we're moving to another area, right? Uh, let's look at it. Right. Next one, what we are going to discuss now, let's look at it. What are the strategies? What are the strategies for gaining customer experience? What are the things you can do to improve? And now let us see what are the strategies for gaining customer experiences, right? What are the strategies? Now that is there in your early stages, right? First, third or fourth uh, slides. Okay, I'm sorry for that. I don't know how it happened, right? Okay, right. Just we look at it this one, and then we'll go for break. And then once you come back, we'll do something CRM models, and then we are going to discuss the latter part of today, the assignment. We're going to discuss what the management or what IBSL expecting from your assignments, right? Okay, right. Let's look at it now. Strategies for gaining customer experiences. What are the strategies for gaining customer experience? Now we discuss, the banks are, the fierce competition, right? And ongoing engagement with co-creation with customers is essential, right? What achieving? To sustainable differentiation and growth and profitable growth. Therefore, strive to gain deep understanding of the aspects of necessary to achieve high level of customer experience. Let's look at it some strategies. Now, strategy means how we are going to achieve our objectives. How can you bring loyal customers? Right now, let's look at it. Some strategies. So I can identify there are 5 type of strategies usually. One is communication strategy. Second one we call them as we put it a brand association strategy, product strategy, electronic media strategy, and the people strategy. Let's look at it. The first strategy is called the communication strategy. So, what do you mean by a communication? It is a process of exchange. Exchange of what? About the facts, about the thoughts, beliefs, opinion between individuals. In the normal communication process, you send the message, you encode it, send it through channel or media, and you encode it, and you get the message, decode it and get the message, right? The feedback mean, what do you mean by a feedback? You receive. Now, in my case here, I'm using communication strategy. Since I can't see you, what I'm using? How can I get the feedback? I use the number of participants or number of students with me in online. I just randomly check some of you all and ask whether you understood or not. So this is the feedback I am getting. Then I feel it. My communication message is successful. So there may be how I encode it through online Google Classroom, and I'm imparting the information to you. I tell the all, I give you some knowledge about the customer experience you receive as a student, right? So how I am see whether you got the message correctly. I'll ask from some question. That's a feedback. So this is the customer maintain customer relationship. I told you in the very early day. So there are some people just to call your customers. Nothing. His job is to call customers, but he's not in the. Remember, he's not in the call center. He used to call through communication. Remember, you may get some new ideas. So, right, why new ideas? They talk about the competitors. They will talk about their processes issues. So sometimes they give some ideas, right? It has to be communicated. Now that is why sometimes, so especially for car services, if you get a car services by a reputed organization, and they call you, they call you and ask, sir, now I think your car has run for maybe 500 kilometers, and this is a good time for you to do the second service, like that, right? That is communication strategy. Thereby you bring customer experience into the scene, right? And then again, they will call you if you buy some products, and they say they can ask from you. So I think now you are what you purchased from us. So how is that car is good or bad, or maybe photocopy machine good or bad, right? Even before you can ask from your customers, you open an account, you're happy with the account, housing loan, you can ask so many things. So that's consistent, regular communication is play an important for a customer experiences, right? That's a communication method. So today we have a different mode of communication through the brochures, through the advertisement, newsletters, annual reports. right? And we have lot of uh, s- s- new texts available with us, social media, Twitter. You can communicate to them through that if you have a problem. So constant touch with the customers play an important role. Thereby you can improve your customer communication. The second method is what you call the brand association strategy. Brand association strategy. Right. Now I'll give you a simple, very simple example. So when you go for to buy some plastic material, say for an example, then how you are telling to customers? මට දෙන්නකො ස්ලෝන් බටයක්. දැන් අපි ගිහලා ඉල්ලනවාද කඩේකින් බසුන්නේ මට දෙන්නකො polyvinyl chloride බටයක්. We never ask from them, no? So for Aslon, I mean these, we call them as polyvinyl chloride. That's how you, it's a technical name. So we never go to the ask, please give me a paracetamol. We'll ask Panadol or something, right? We never ask generic name. සමහර සෙරපු දෙයක් ගන්න ගියාම මට බාට දෙන්නකෝ බාට දෙකක් දෙන්න, right? But he's not meant bata, but he wants slippers. So the brand association, Sloan, I'll give you a classic example. Sloan is a brand name. So another example I can quote you. Rexona. What is the brand thing coming to your minds? What is meant by Rexona? Right? So therefore the brand association strategy refers to the attributes of a brand that come into customers' mind when the brand is talked about. Right? The moment you say, okay, what is the best bank to get a housing loan? What is the best bank to get a business loan? What is the best place to go and pawn your pawning jewelry? What bank you can get a good personal loan? What bank you need to open an account for current account? Which bank gives the highest interest rate? So brand association strategy, right? Remember all these things. Now, how you create that the brand association? Positive customer experience you can make through advertisement. You can make through advertisement. That is why we need to prepare a good advertisement, especially for pawning. Now, these days, you see so many advertisements are put in by banks. Customer experiences. Right? Now, commercial credit and advertisements. See the how brand associated with this consumer's mind. They feel it. This organization never cheat customers. Why? They have that experiences. Then word of mouth publicity. That's the most powerful. Price. Association with celebrities. That is why sometimes we use certain celebrities talk about our product. Because of them, they buy. Now, Irangani Singh, the famous actress in Sri Lanka, old respected. Then Satish Chandra, Harish Chandra, Satish Chandra. So some finance companies are using this fellow. So I'm going to deposit. So therefore, you also deposit. And heavily used by Indians, cricketers. They're crazy. Is Dhoni drink this? Customers also drink what Dhoni drinks. And actors. So there are two things. So Indians are very much crazy cricket and the film, right? So the brand associated use they are used their celebrities because they want to create custom experiences of using these things, right? Then additional benefits offered by computer. Okay, so some of these things you need to understand. Sometimes organization also use a technique called co-branding for creative positive customer experience. So co-branding means using multiple brand names together with a single product. Now, for example, Adidas and Polar Electro together created the project Fusion that integrates equipments of measuring heart rate, speed, distance, sports apparel, things like that. Right? That's its co-branding concept. Right? These are the methods you may use to improve your strategies you are using to improve your customer experience. Or maybe product strategy. What do you mean by a product? Say service that satisfy the needs and wants of the customers. In today's competitive business environment, customer has a number of options for the same product. So you need to differentiate your product. Now, all banks are offering saving products. How can you differentiate your savings with another savings? I will give you an example. Think about if you want to fly to Singapore, you have a lot other airlines, even Air and you have a Singapore airline. So what you select, both are going to the Singapore. Why you are traveling Singapore Airlines than Sri Lankan Airlines? Forget about us, foreigner. Means the Sri Lanka, we may go for Sri Lankan Airlines. Think about the foreigner. Why foreigner travel Singapore Airlines against Sri Lankan Airlines? That is the differentiator. How they differentiate other airline from Singapore Airline? You see some advertisements, how you differentiate the same services. So you need to create some uniqueness to the products. That is how you can do that. You can do that through creating value or augmenting the product. So those are associated with customer experiences. So, right? So you see how customer value creations facilitate customer experiences. And now today you have electronic media strategy, internet, electronic media, mobile banking, mobile applications, mobile apps. Oh, there are so many things can play for customer experience, right? And use the present new electronic media strategies. Now, these days we talk about QR, right? Customer experience, easy access to your transaction, convert one account for another account. Those are very simple, straightforward things, right? So you can get a positive customer experiences. You put money from account to another account and things like that, right? The next one, the people strategy. What do you mean by the people strategy? Customers not only look at it, the judgments about the brand, not only advertisements, but they look at it, the service provider, that is you, that's the employees of an organization. That is why in the marketing mix, the people play an important factor. So people factor play an important role. To what extent you have the competencies, knowledge, products, knowledge about your competitors, knowledge about your customers, and your skills, your technical skills, your conceptual skills, and your human skills, and your attributes, your attitudes. That is why sometimes if you go to this bank, superb service. If you go to that bank, bad service. Same banks, different branches, right? So customer experience count. So it sometimes the branch itself, right? People fact, I mean, different. Some manager move from one branch to another branch. Different set of customers are moving there. Some people are telling because of the services provided by. And mind you, the last point here. So today we have a different generations. We have baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z. There are different people are working in the workplace. You know what these four type of generation working in your branch. Baby boomers mean people who born uh, up to 1963. From 63 to 1980, there may be a Gen X, and from 80 to 95 we have a millennials, and after 95, maybe around 2000 onwards, we have Gen Z. So for your bank or your branch, four guys are working. So those four guys having different uh, attitudes or different characteristics. So the baby boomer is not much techno savvy, but they may listen to customers. But Gen X, you know, so they want earn money more, want to go quickly. And the millennials, they're more enthusiastic, tech savvy than Gen X, and Gen Z is more tech savvy than millennials, but they're a little lazy, right? So what is the ideal combinations? Customer experience. Some people like go for that particular branch because of workplace. What are the type of people in the branch? That's experience. අපෝ එක් බාංචකට ගිහලා වැඩක් නැහැ. මෙලෝදියක් දන්නේ නැහැ. උත්තර දෙන්නේ නැහැ හරියට. That's not because of The brand problem, that because of the employees problem, because they are coming from different generations, they may have the different characteristics. These are some of the issues in the people strategy. So therefore the manager's job is to get the maximum out of this multi-variation stuff. Okay, right. So we just come to the end of strategies, right? End of strategies. Okay, what are the strategies we discuss? One strategy, strategies for gaining customer experience. We discuss about the communication strategy, to what extent you can use the communication strategy to create a better customer experience. Then we discuss about brand association strategy, to what extent you use your brand name. About the experience now, for example, government bank, people having bad association, but now it's slowly moving away, right? Then the product strategy. Then we discuss about the electronic media strategy, new ways you can deal with customers. So we will discuss those things little later on with some examples with CRM. And then we discuss the product people strategy, how important to provide a better customer service, right? Okay, now with this, now is almost 2 hours, so we may go for break, right? And I hope you understood, right? We now is 3:23, so 3:23, yes, we may back again. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3:50. It's okay for you all? So you okay 3:50? It's okay for you after break?
It's okay, sir.
3:50, right?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, right. We will
Yeah,
meet
okay.
again 3:50. Then we will discuss the balance part, and we'll discuss the assignment as well. Okay, so 3:50 we will gather here again. 3:50. Thank you. I hope you understood, right? Okay. Okay. Right. So we will. Right. Okay. So we will start where we have stopped during the break. Right. So we're just moving to next slide. Right. Now, so we discussed about the what are the components that drive customer satisfactions and loyalty. Now, this is something a different area. So customer satisfaction and loyalty is not always based on the better quality of organization product. Remember that just because of you offering a good product, maybe not satisfy customers. So customers may have some different opinions about their satisfaction level, right? So there are certain key components so that derive customer satisfactions and loyalty can remember this. So consistent communication. Now I told you about the consistent communication. Now consistent communication, the important thing, that is why we use as a customer experience strategy communication. So communications necessary for you to do it consistently. Now for an example, you take an advertisement. Now you see same advertisement is come over and over again. Now why? Because there are people tend to forget, and there are few things why we need to constantly communicate, just to you know for reinforcement and a remind. Reinforcement and remind, right? That means when you call a customer, so we are not call them, they think they forget the customer. That is why we need to have a constant communication, right? Now for banks also, if you have not communicated direct for certain period of time, we consider them as a dormant and non-operative, no, and sometimes we call abundant, right? Why? What do you mean by a dormant and what do you mean by abundant property? We have not communicated with the customer. That is why we call them as abundant and dormant. So we need to communicate. Likewise, for customer experience, in order to build a loyalty and satisfaction, so we need to constantly communicate with our customers. Second one, superior customer service with quality output. Now, that is the important things. Again, we discuss about the service quality model developed by Parasema and Sitmal and Bailey for 5 areas about providing a better customer quality. We discuss about the 5 determinants. And then we discussed last time uh, to level of value created for customers. So we discussed last week how to create killing value propositions. We discussed how to do and what are the things the customer expected. Adding value, right? And also we discuss the additional benefits given to customers than your competitor. So these are the 4 important components you can concentrate on for improving your customer satisfaction and loyalty, right? Remember, all these factors ultimately contributing to trickle down to the customer experience, right? Okay, then we look at it. So what are the difference between customer satisfaction and customer loyalty? I think it is not in your handout, but I will then I will put it to here. So you, if you want, you're interested, just jot down what is the difference between customer loyalty and satisfaction. I can remember I told you very early, very first day I think. Now the customer loyalty, are there any more customers are loyal to the bank? So that's a questionable today, but still not totally eradicating. But customer loyalty is the factor to be considered in the present highly competitive environment, right? That's the issue. Now let's look at it, the difference between customer satisfaction and customer loyalty, right? Now, if not, it is not in your handout. If you want, just put down uh, what is the difference between customer loyalty and customer satisfaction. Now, customer satisfaction, satisfied customers may not be a loyal customer, right? Remember that. Now is a classic example. We know the solvency, insolvency, and liquidity, right? Just because you have a money doesn't mean you are not going to insolvent, right? So you may going to solvent, right? Remember that. Just because of you have a solvent, that doesn't mean you are liquid. Likewise, a satisfied customer may not be a loyal customer, right? So the loyalty continues even at the time of dissatisfaction. Sometime for the time being is not satisfied, but loyalty will continue. That is why, so dissatisfied customer, he calls you and tell your problem. So I told you 10% of your customers who are not satisfied may only call. Others 90% are leave the organization without communicating to you. So that means those 10 customers are considered to be a loyal customers. That is why you want to call. And sometimes you make, some of your maybe managers as a මම මේ කම්ප්ලේන් කරන්න කැමති නැහැ. නමුත් ඉතින් මම මේ බැංකුවට ආදරේනි. ඒ නිසා මම මේක කම්ප්ලේන් කළා කියලා අර එම්ප්ලොයිවට පනිෂ් කරන්නත් එපා. එයාට අවවාද කරන්න. මම මේ බැංකුවට ආදරේනි. මගේ ඒ කාඩි නම්ම ගෙනින් තියෙන්නේ මේ බැංකුවේ. So those are at a given time he is not dissatisfied with the service rendered by one of the officer, or maybe due to some other factor. But that doesn't mean he is not loyal. But because of his loyalness only, he come and tells you all these things. So remember, the loyal customers are the customers who make complaints. But less loyal customers are not complain, they move out from your organization. Right? You need to understand. So therefore, you need to understand loyalty continues even at the time of dissatisfaction, but satisfied customers may not be a loyal customer. Right? Remember that. Right. The second point, a satisfied customer may not tell others about the product, right? And he may just satisfy and just wait. But the loyal customers are the people who talk about to the others. And that is why I call customer loyalty leads to referrals. It talks good things about your organization, about your bank to others. So the third point, satisfaction is perceived through customers' mind, right? Customers' mind. Now, I don't know whether I told you the story. If you look at it about the two axis customer satisfaction level, the first level, you perceive level, right? Perceive level mean that is what you expected. If your organizations give more than your expected level, right? So you consider him as a delighted customer, more than expected. But you have a perceived level, so you have expected level, but the organizations give less than your expected level, then you become a dissatisfied customer. If you are satisfied customers, you have some expectation limit, so the organization give you to that expected level, that means you are a satisfied customers. Right now, if I draw this, I don't know whether you can see it here, simple as that. Okay, like this, right? So you, this is your expected level. This is your expected level of satisfaction. Suppose, suppose you are giving here service. So that means so delighted. So there's a delighted customer. And suppose your service is getting less than this, you say dissatisfied customer. Right? The guy who give this line, that means is the satisfied customer. Right? So just to for some techniques, right? I think you can see that board, right? Okay, otherwise I will show you. Please see this board, if right. Okay, so the first one, so satisfy customer. So your expected level meeting by the customer is called satisfy customer. The your expected level is more than what banks is giving, we call them as a delighted customer. The bank is not meet the expected level of customer, we call dissatisfied customer. Right? You need to understand that point. Okay. Uh, right. Now we move into that. Okay. So we are discussing about the difference between the distinction between customer satisfaction and customer loyalty. Right. So it is a consumer's mind. Loyalty is related to the customer's emotion with a brand. That's the important thing. So it is association. That is why we discuss about the brand association, right? Brand association. That is why some people are not switch the brand. Even though you are not provide a better service to the customer, still they hang around due to some sentimental value. Maybe he is the first customer, he is maintaining an account with you for the last so many years, like that. That is the emotional factor, the loyalty. The next one, customer satisfaction is not just subject to a customer commitment towards a brand, but the loyalty customers, it is associated with the term commitment. So these are the some of the differences between customer satisfactions and customer loyalty, but both are important. Remember, both are important. Actually, the customer loyalty is an extension version of customer satisfaction, right? Customer loyalty and extension version of customer satisfactions. You need to remember that. Right. Now, what are the benefits of achieving a high level of customer satisfaction and loyalty. What are the benefits the bank is going to get? Right? One, minimizing the cost of selling. Right? You don't want to spend more money for telling everything because you know this bank will give. Now that is why sometimes when you advertise, some banks are telling, ඔබට හැමදාමත් ඔබගේ අවශ්‍යතා සපුරන බැංකුව. ඔබගේ හැමදාම ඔබගේ අවශ්‍යතාවයන් සොයා බලා ඒවා සපුරපු බැංකුව. ආදි වශයෙන් අර කමර්ෂල් කියන්නේ ඒකයි. So minimizing the cost of selling, right? Otherwise you need to spend. Why? You need to create awareness, you need to spend more money for getting a new customer. Second, uplifting the repeat purchase from the existing customer. Right. Again the general theory we learn about the Pareto theory. 20% of your customers are bringing 80% business to your organization. That's a Pareto theory. Or maybe you can say 20% of customers are bringing 80% profit or revenue to the organization. Even for we do the same thing now. We usually go for our existing customers for deposit more, right? That's the theory. Then improving the quality of product and services, right? So loyalty, what happened? High level of customers and loyalty helps an organization through again improving customer quality and product. So they will tell you how to improve and all, and improving the rate of retention and referrals also, as we explained to you all, and providing win-win platform for customers. Remember that is a highly satisfied customers is provide a win-win platform for our customers. Just for you to get some idea about this. So what are the key success factors for achieving customer satisfactions and loyalty? What are the key success factors? Now, so in the bankers are what is the market banks are dealing with? We call them as oligopolistic market. No, there are few players in the market, large players in the market, many small players in the market. So therefore, banks are working on oligopolistic market. But in monopoly market, the customer has no other option rather than being a loyal customer. Right now, before in 1977, before the country is open up the economy, that mean we have only few banks, all 3-4 savings, 3-4 state banks, right? So therefore customer has no option, so he automatically become a loyal customer because of less number of banks available in the market. If the monopoly market, customer automatically become a loyal customer because there's no option. But in oligopolistic market conditions, where we are now having, customers may switch from one brand to another. There's a possibility of switching. Right now, I'll give you another example of brand switching. If I ask you a simple question, now there are two gas companies in Sri Lanka. One is Litro Gas, other one is Laugh. Now, why people are not so switching from Litro to Laugh and Laugh to Litro? Because switching cost is high. Why? What is the switching cost for gas? The cylinder cost, right? It's a cylinder cost. That is switching cost. Because make it your switching cost is high. Now you as bankers also improve your switching cost. Now say you took a housing loan from A bank, right? B banks want to get that housing loan to their custody. So how can you avoid switching? So you say, okay, redemption fees high. If you're going to withdraw for your loan, you have to pay penalty or something. So make your switching cost high, right? Making your switching cost high. So one way, how can you avoid the switching one brand to another brand? Make it your switching cost is high. So therefore, an organization should try to provide quality products, services to its customers. Otherwise, the banks may be still switching and differentiated product from that of competitors. So that is, as we discussed previously also. So then we need to measure customer satisfactions and loyalty through customer interactions, interviews, and service. That is why we need to have a continuous communication with the customer to identify what you want, what you like, why you are not doing. Now, even for customers, not how many of you have called your good customers? How many of you are having a track record of your good customers? Suppose that we have a good customer, being keep on with you money, and you are not seen. Are there any mechanism available for you to track your good customers are not being to your bank? Now this is an ideal opportunity, right, for you all to just check. Now we are in the corona second stage, no, an ideal time to call these customers and say, this guy is from that particular area, maybe infected area. So you can call that customer and asking, not just giving you these moratoriums and things like that. You can call this customer and say, how about you, sir? You are in the safe now. What do you think about the business? That's give a lot of loyalty marks, right? That is, you differentiate from you. You take as a manager in your bank, take 5 6 major customers who may suffering or maybe in that affected areas. Why don't you call him and find it out whether you are okay, you are safe, what we can do from here. So that's give your customer satisfactions and loyalty. Simple call. Those are the custom experience, right? This is an ideal time. At least spend your spend your 30 minutes or 50 minutes or 1 hour to call some the good clients who are dealing with you. You can call from home, right? Those are the matters count, right? Remember, the small thing, we won't spend money, but we are not taking into account all these things. Now, according to the Harvard Business Review, there are some certain success factors for achieving customer satisfaction and loyalty, right? And there should be a link between performance objectives and employee incentives. So a lot of organizations now, this is a good thing. There should be a link between performance objectives and employee incentives. That if another way we talk about, we say performance based remuneration system. So I think you will learn about the issues you face with performance based remuneration systems. The moment you make, it's a good one if you want to have a better customer satisfaction. Yes, there are a lot of positive sides about performance based remuneration system. There are a lot of advantages because the guys who work hard, you have to say me has to provide some incentives. But there are some lot of disadvantages of performance based remuneration systems also. Why? Because the performance remuneration systems may lead to sometimes financial mis-selling, right? You want to improve your businesses now, so he may mis-sell. Mis-selling mean without telling all the information to customers, you are trying to sell product, hiding certain important information to the customer. Now, according to the customer charter, you cannot do things like that. But sometimes, because of the performance related things, KPI, so you may tend to sell product without telling the truth. So that's mis-selling. And also, you may try to sometime deviate or maybe try to violate the internal controls because you want to get business. No, you may try to involve getting involved with violating the internal controls. That's another issue, right? And remember, I think you have learned in the world 2007-8 financial crisis, and they have identified one of the reason for financial crisis. One of the reasons, there are many reasons. One of the reasons why these financial crises took place in 2007-8, because of all the banks are meant for performance remuneration system. So as a result, employees try to come up with more complex product where the customers cannot understand, right? So those things can happen because of this. So in that, the bad side will tarnish the customer satisfactions and loyalty, but we have to take the good side of the performance review incentive system, right? Remember, what if it's a good thing is good more, so you have to take that part. Right. So just to get some idea about that. So there should be a customer focused culture in an organization. Now, so that everybody need to understand customer is the king, right? Customer is the queen. So every business will bring by the customer. Whatever said and done. Ultimately, the customer is the guy who's going to purchase. Without customer, we cannot uh, survive in the market, right? And also, an important thing is, so if you want to have a better CRM or customer experience, you need to obtain the top management support. That's not only for this, everything without top management support and participation, you cannot provide better customer satisfaction or loyalty, or for that matter, for customer experience, right? So we need to understand sometimes based on your segments, customer segment, right? The loyalty and the satisfactions may be vary. In the very beginning, we discussed we don't want to um, provide the same services to all the sectors of the customers. So we discuss the significantly important customers. We'll discuss the lifetime customers, right? So importance of lifetime customers and significantly important customers we discussed 2 weeks back, right? Okay. And also, in order to have a better customer satisfactions and loyalty, now it is an important for provider of training to employees. Now I'll tell you why, because everything's are keep on changing. So employees need to be upgraded their knowledge. So training considers to be as an investment for organization. But lot of organization are considered maybe an expense, but organization need to look at it. The training of employees is an investment. It may be a deferred investment, right? Okay. So there should be a continuous improvement initiative related to customer service. Every time they need to come up with new ideas. You need to look at it, what is taking place in the external environment, what are the other institutions, not necessary to have the bank. You must be benchmarking me. So you look at the competitor as well as the non-competitor with having a similar business type, right? So what you can get it, what you can think, what the other organization doing which is not related to bank, right? But maybe you can get some novel ideas, how, what consumer market businesses, how they satisfy the customer. Bank also can take some applicable improvement initiatives, right? Okay, about the customer service. Right. Next. Now that's another important things we are going to discuss here. Now, with the explain the features of CRM software that helps an organization to create positive experience for its customers. Now, lot of new software, CRM software is available. I try to explain to you. Recently, we have. I'm also in the Association of Professional Bankers. I'm at the council. I'm in the advisory council, advisory board. So we conduct a webinar about benefit of end-to-end digitalization. How CRM technology can be used. I will explain. I will give you some of the slides there, and I will explain how CRM technology or how CRM software is can be considered as a business tool for providing a better customer service. Right now, let's look at it. Some of these things. Right now, this is a very latest one. I'm trying to explain to you on this kit. Dramatically superior customer experience. Now, with the development of the technology, right, the digitalization, so there are a lot of CRM softwares are available now, right? The digital softwares are CRM software available to provide address this, um, provide customer better services. Thereby, you try to reduce your three aspects. One is, we may look at it, three CRM types. One is, but first, operational CRM. Second one, analytics CRM. Third one, strategic CRM. Now you see these three areas. How can we look at it? Right? Significantly reduce operational risk and cost. So by digitalizing the process, right, fraud prevention, authentications, so that also you can do it from. So you improve your operational efficiency, and also reduce the operational risk and cost. Right? Okay, that's the first part. The second one, new capabilities and agile adoption. So we can make use of for on-the-job training to become certified Serum masters, product owners, and all. So new capabilities and agile adoption you can use with this new CRM solutions, right? And new product launches and digital marketing. So we have a lot of communication methods are available to introduce. That is what you call sometimes the strategic CRM, right? And high productivity through use of analytics. That means analytical CRM. So how analytical CRM is we are using through automated processing and credit decisions we can take through analytics about the customers. Now, if you go for crib also, now they are developing individual scorecard, individual credit scoring for in customers wise based on the track record they had it with banks, all the banks, because all the informations are coming to the crib will base on their the ID number, and you can see what is the how good they are, so they can label good customer, bad customers, like that, right? They give the different color code for identify good customer, right? So through that is the use of analytics, right? So see, therefore the operational CRM, then strategic CRM, and the other one is what you call these uh, analytical CRM. So all will provide a superior customer experience. I'll explain to you another one now. Think about end-to-end digitalization. Now say three areas. First, customer journey digitalization. Now you see first one. So we look at it in customer journey digitalization, optimize user experiences by digitalization front end uh, businesses. So digital sourcing of user data, eKYC, digital customer authentication, pre-fill applications. Now, if you really look at it, uh, it's not there. It is not recorded here, doesn't matter. So digital says there are three. Now say the first one. So digital customer journey digitalization mean basically you supported with a lot of um, sales automations, right? So applications, field of optimizations, and things like that. Second, digital underwriting. Now, STP cases that the conversion rates were underwriting. Now, so you can, based on the digital underwriting, that is the analytical parts, you can say digitalizations of credit policies. Your organization credit policies, you can um, uh, digitalize. Scorecard creation. So how you create your customers' credit ratings. Analytics based pricing. So analytics based pricing mean based on the customers, you decide the pricing methods, right? And also personalizing and go to market strategy mean again personalization, that is strategic CRM, digital sales strategy, campaign design, review mechanisms, everything you can do through use of CRM software packages. So end users, I mean the entire package, now you can uh, expedite, provide a better customer service through come up with lot of solution, digital CRM solution. Now, those are for retail banks. Now, if you really look at it for corporate bank customers, what these customer experience touch points can be addressed by the CRM solution, right? Corporate bank customers. Now, so one thing is relationship management. Through the relationship management, so personalized real-time access to service provided. So one aspect, how can you improve your corporate bank customers and customer experience across each and every touch point. Then channels. Now, integrated multi-channels today, maybe channels offering 24/7 access. So a lot of organizations are today provide multi-channel facilities to customers. And then you have a product and services. Now, customized solutions and value-added services, right? Every so banks are giving now, and the pricing and can be a dynamic, a tailor-made pricing to the customers. And the next level is the customer service, real-time query resolutions and support. If you have any problem, immediately they will give you a solution. Now, all these factors, right, all these touch points will improve your final business by using certain CRM, remember CRM software packages, right? So corporate bank customers as well as the retail bank customers also can be improve their experiences, customer experiences, by come up with more technologically driven some software solutions, CRM software solution. Now, important things I want to highlight here: corporate banks going for digitalization. Now, you look at the revenue enhancement, cost reductions. Now they have identified through the CRM solution. The banks can improve 10 to 30% of the revenue, and cost can be down by 20 to 40%, and reliance on loan products, fee income also increased by 20 to 30%, and loan loss improvement. So that is the important things. So with the use of new software, so you can identify defaults even 1 2 years earlier. So therefore, loan losses improvement improve. That means, so you identify the customer well before, because he's going to default, and also improve the productivity. So declining in operation activities for 30% to 50%, right? And then the next one is customer satisfaction. So you usually get a higher satisfaction score, right? So these are the factors may contributing for customer experience. Now, because of software solutions, CRM software solution provide the banks to improve these areas, right? So that's what I want to know. These are some of the things you can use it to improve the banks. I will tell you another good example. Here it is not there. Now, I'll see whether it is some other slide, right? I will check whether it is some other slide. The issue here is now in today's context, now the LC opening. Now LC opening, to what extent you can use CRM facilities? So LC open, so all the applicants need to come to the bank, and from that point all the some documentary checking, security checking, all the process can be taken care by the those packages. So therefore, in future, there are maybe a lot of software packages comes to facilitate both customer services, right? I just give you some new things what we have to learn. These things are happening and may come very quickly to Sri Lankan banking fraternity, and some are using. There may be a possibility those things are incorporated to improve the customer experiences in a digitalized manner with use of CRM models. Now, with this background, so we will discuss some of the CRM models, right? Briefly, we are available in the market. We're going to discuss around 4 type of CRM models, right? Now, what is the what is the factor we need to look at it? This CRM model. Now, what is customer relationship management models? Basically define framework to manage customer relationship through stages from acquisition to retention, right? So models therefore focusing on customer satisfaction, customer loyalty, customer experience, competitive advantage, multi-channel communication networks, right? So these packages are come, right? Let's look at it now. What is the acquisition and what is the retention? What do you mean by acquisition and what do you mean by retention? Acquisition means they bring the customers to your organization. Now for that we discuss advertising. We may use personal selling, sales promotion, right? We may have some events, direct marketing. So we using different methodology to attract customers, which we have to spend a little more, right? But the retention part, that means if you're going to keep your customer, we need to delight your customer, and we need to pursue value of customers. We need to give more additional value to customers, right? Example, we may have sales encouragement, free vouchers, gifts, and these the customer clubs, loyal proper loyalty programs, the marks, right? A lot of banks are giving now loyalty points and things like that. And also customer engagement. Those are the areas we can use to improve our customer retention. And so these are the framework for from customer acquisition till the retention. Let's look at it. Some models. There are 4 type of models or 5 type of models. I don't know whether it is available. 1 minute. Yeah, 5 type of model is available, but 4 type of model. I will explain some more model in queue, right? The first, there are 4 type of models we are going to discuss. First type of model we are going to discuss, we call IDIC model. IDIC models of CRM, right? Now, this IDIC model is basically, just look at it, right? And with this diagram, developed by Don Peppers and Martha. So we call IDC model was developed by Don Peppers and Rogers, Martha Rogers, to and he has identified this CRM implementation process into 4 stages. What are these 4 stages? Identify, right? differentiate, and interact, and customize. Now let's look at it, these four phases: identify, differentiate, interact, customize. Now IDIC model will discuss about the four areas, right? So what do you mean by an identify? The first steps to identify the your customers, right? First step is to identify the customer, right? Now what now that mean basically uh, who are your customers, uh, and deep understanding about your customer. So through the first step, identify customer mean you need to first who your customers, you need to understand who are your customers and build a deep understanding of them. For that, you need to customer, you identify your customer. So you need some quality data to create a customer knowledge database regarding their names, addresses, purchases, history, preferences, point of contact. So which can be used for generate useful insight in creating value for businesses. Right now, a lot of people are telling bank is having full of data. So people are criticizing bank is never using the available data adequately. So that's a um, that's the things that a lot of people are telling. Only the bank is having full of data where we have not used it. So this model first try to understand and collect informations about all the things. Second, by the second stage, we look at it to differentiate your customers, right? The second step to differentiate your customers and create segment on the basis of lifetime purchase value from the business. So the customers targeting could be done suit each segment. So the second point, we may facilitate customers have who are the most valuable customers to you, who are the not most valuable customers to you. So therefore, really create a segments. So differentiating your customer. Now, having understood your customers, you are trying to segment your customers. The second one. Then the third point, the third step is to interact with your customers on the basis of segmented analysis. Now you have the first you collect the information and then you segmented the customers, and then based on your segmented analysis, and we are trying to develop various loyalty programs, right? Understand customer expectation and their relationship with other suppliers of the organization. We in the third step we try to do. And the fourth steps, so that is the customize the offer. So here what we are trying to do, communicates to ensure that the expectations of customers are met, right? So customize mean, so we must ensure customize the offer and ensure, right, the that the expectation of the customers are met. So these are the one CRM model we use by Pepper and Roger. Um, that's simply we call them as IDCI, IDIC model. First, you collect the information, write all the information possible. Second step, to differentiate customers and try to segment it, and based on the segmented analysis we come up with lot of loyalty and membership programs, engagement activities, choosing multi-channel communication with those customers, involvement. And then third one, based on that we try to come up with ready-made or customized product to the customers and ensure that customers expectations are met, right? This is the first model. Second model, we call them as QCI models. We call them as QCI models. Now this method is basically we talk about um, we basically talk about series of activity relating to some 5 areas like external environmental, custom experience, third one people and the organization, and the fifth one is what you call infrastructure. So what we try to do here, models show series of activities related to external environment, custom experience, people, organization, and infrastructure. So all these together help in building the whole process of customer management activity. So we use all these 5 activities. What are these activities? Use external environmental factors, customer experience factors, people, organization, and infrastructure together. So we try to communicate with the customer management activity. Now, according to this model, external environment directly affect the customer experience and also the planning and analysis of the organization. Now, say for an example, external environmental will directly impact the customer experiences, and then analyzing and planning factors, right? Then custom experience is affected by this. Custom experience is affected by other factors like customer proposition, customer management activity, and measurements. Where customer proposition means something that company offer to a customer, right, in terms of the price and products and things like that. So the infrastructure deals with organization in a sense of technology. Now, how infrastructure facilitate providing some technology, right? Now, example, infrastructure provide technology for an organization, right, done through the external um, to customer provide some information and process management, right? Now it acts as a facilitate for the CRM implementation, the technology provide. Then each activity, people, organization, process, and technology have a dual effect and are interrelated to other each in the other aspect in the other model, right? Now this is and give you another way, and these are sometimes may be little complicated to understand, but try to understand a very simple way. There are some models of CRM models available. Those are 4 famous models where we are going to take into account certain factors for determining a good CRM model. In the third factor, the third model, we call them as um we call CRM value chain model. Now, this value chain concept, I think most of them are well aware. So, they and this value chain, CRM value chain model is consist of basically it was in fact developed by Francis Battle in 2004 and divided into 2 stages. One is supporting stages or supporting conditions, and the other one is the primary stages of primary activities, right? So what are the primary stages? Comes customer portfolio analysis, customer intimacy, network development, value proposition development, manage the customer life cycle. So what we have learned, and then the supporting for achieving this is leaderships and culture, data and information, people and process. These are supporting to achieve these primary areas, right? So like usually normal value chain model, right? So primary stage, the focus is on customer to develop strategy to maintain significantly long-term mutually profitable relationship. Now, this part will customer portfolio, customer intimacy, network development, all are providing long-term um, long-term strategy to maintain long-term profitable relationship with the customer. So the primary stage, again, as I explained to you, divided into 5 parts, starting from customer portfolio analysis, right? Customer intimacy, network development, value propositions, and manage their lifestyle. Okay, so it goes through customer intimacy from portfolio analysis, in going to the customer intimacy, network development, value proposition development, ending with customer life cycle engagement. So each one stage by step, the primary stage process is developed. The customer portfolio analysis mean done to segment the customers according to their lifetime purchases, right? So customer portfolio and what type of customers, how frequently they are buying. So we analyze lifetime purchases and things like that. So then customer intimacy mean all about know your customer well. So data collected at value stages, various stages we collect. Customer intimacy mean we collect information about the customers. The network development means company must create a complete network of suppliers. So how can you support employees, investors, technology distributors, retailers, customer to serve profitably? So how can we get the network to support the activity? The next stage of the value proposition mean we how can you enhance the customer satisfaction by adding value, thereby meeting their expectation. So the last stage about the managing the customer life cycle, building customer equity and the loyalty, and expecting a consistent revenue from that customer. So that is the part. Now this part, now customer portfolio analysis, customer intimacy, network development. So all these are process will go one by one and end up with provide a profitable customer relationships. So that is how you can add value through this process, right? Then in order to support that, so in order to support that, um, secondary stages are there. Those are we call supporting in order to achieve the primary things. So in terms of giving technology, skilled people, efficient process, work-oriented culture with quality, what good leaderships. So these 4 factors, right? These 4 factors support to achieve these primary stages, right? So processors and people, skilled people, information technology, and good leadership, and create a culture within organization which facilitate to achieve these primary stages. That is how the CRM value chain model was developed in the CRM. Right. The last one we call them as we call pain and force 5-step process model, where we it consists of 5 stages. Where it consists of 5 stages. Now 5 stages are basically we call strategy development, value creation process, multi-channel integration process, and performance process, performance, informations and performance process. There are 5 step process involving in here, right? What are the areas? 5 areas: perform strategy, uh, development stage. Second stage we call value creation stage. Third, multi-channel integration stage, information management stage, and performance assessment stage. Right. Under business strategy, so what we are going to look at it, we're going to look at the vision, the industry competitive characteristics, and in that area we are going to look at it, vision of the organizations and the industry and competitive characteristics comes under business strategy. Now under customer strategy, we talk about customer choices and characteristics and segmented characteristics, right? That is the strategy development process. Then once this comes the value creation process, from what we are trying to do, we are going to come up with CVP, customer value proposition. How we are going to add value to the product and services. And And then from the organization point from view, so we talk about acquisition economics and the retention economics through the value creation for customer and value creation for organization. The third one is what you call the multi-channel communications, so direct marketing and you may use it social media here, the new thing. So multi-channel integration process, we are dealing with so many new communications area. The next one is the performance area where you come up with shareholder results. So from we look at it from employee value under shareholder results, employee value. Then we look at the customer value, cost reduction, shareholder value. All factors we look at the shareholder results, right? Then the performance monitoring, we look at it, satisfactions level or satisfaction scores and KPIs for organization. We look at from the performance monitoring point of view. So data repository mean basically IT system. So IT analytical tool, back office and front office. So these are the basically pain and froze 5-step process, and it is not there in your handout, but I just simply try to explain. There's another method we call them as another method we call them as the Gartner competency model. We call them as a Gartner competency model or Gartner's CRM model. Just to understand, it consists of 6 models: CRM vision, CRM strategy, value customer experience, organization collaboration, CRM processes, right? And the CRM information, CRM technology, and CRM matrix. So all these factors ultimately look at from the customer's point of view and organization's point of view, and finally it comes to provide a better customer services, right? This just for you to understand some models. There are some models available for customer relationships, right? So I just briefly touch, it is not in your exam there, but just to understand, there are some models. Just go through your notes, and then you may have some idea about the type of models, right? I think it may be uh, little maybe little difficult, but don't worry on much. But remember, there are some models, CRM models available based on these um, for you to apply in the real life situation, right? Okay, so with this small note, I please go through the handouts and get more ideas on that. So these are some of the models available. If you want to go in more details, you can refer any textbooks or anything. But what I want to explain to you, there are some models available, and these models and software package you can buy. Right. Now we are just come to an end of um, session. So with me, right now I will ask from some of you all. No, I have problem with getting the down people. I have one. How about Akila? Akil, I know there may be models, maybe please go through the models because of the time factor, and also I just expedite. Akila, how about the overall factor up to now? What we have discussed? We discussed the relation, what is relationship, and then we discuss relationship marketing, and then we discuss customer relationship management. Right? And then we discussed last week about how to create a value proposition, how to create value for your product and services, and also for your organization. Because why customers are today buying value, not any other things, right? How to add value to your offer. So that is we call customer value proposition. Today we discuss in greater length what is customer experience. What are the factors of customer? What is customer experience? How you can improve? What are the strategies available? And finally, we touch about the financial models, some CRM models, and I discussed the modern CRM packages are available for expedite the entire CRM activities. Right. So I think you are. I don't have the assignment brief with you now. Please take the assignment brief with you. Right? Are you okay? You please take your assignment brief. It's available with you. Asalaka, it's available with you. All right. So can you take that one now? I will explain a little bit of that and how what we are expecting from this assignment. Now you see, this assignment comes under I think this 20% mark, right? 20 marks were given for assignment. Is that correct? No idea, right? It's at 20%. So what the next one, the assignment is talk about, right? Just a small one. Today banks are right. Today banks are facing an aggressive competition, and they have to make effort to survive in a competitive and uncertain marketplace. Right. Of course, you know today banks are facing aggressive competitions in the marketplace. So banks have realized that managing customer relationship is a very important factor for their success. Right? If you want to survive in the market, and the banks have realized customer relationship management play an important role. Right. Okay. Right. Now I have assumed a bank in Sri Lanka, the Royal Bank of Sri Lanka. Right. The Royal Bank of Sri Lanka, is auspicious name, is a fictitious name. So Royal Bank of Sri Lanka is a large commercial bank in Sri Lanka, right? So they each intend to provide a superior customer services to their clientele. So this the large commercial bank, that means they have enough customer base, so they want to provide a better customer services, use of their available information. Right. So then they what they are trying to come up with, the pursuing customer relationship management as a business strategy, and then what is the objective of the bank, to capture the full potential of our customer base, that means their customer base, through the use of customer information to deliver the right customer, right product and services, provide a solution to customers, right? That's all just in some word. Now you join as chief relationship officer to this Royal Bank of Sri Lanka. You join the Royal Bank of Sri Lanka as a chief relationship officer. Now they have identified, the Royal Bank of Sri Lanka identify the importance of customer relationship management. Right? They have identified the importance of customer relationship management. Now, you was requested to prepare this is an individual assignment, so therefore you was requested to prepare a report to your board of directors, right? And explaining, right? Explaining how you can implement this CRM solution to address this issue. Right. Now here remember, so you need to understand that one important factor is, so one factor, now I am So we are not expecting more detail, complete analyticals on that. So you have to first highlight. So what is the why CRM is important for this organization, for that Royal Bank of Sri Lanka, right? Why it is CRM play an important role, right? So then you need to explain how you can use CRM strategy as a business strategy to support your corporate strategy, achieve your corporate goals. Now remember that, right? Clear? So first you need to explain what is CRM very briefly. What is CRM, the advantage, so whatever, right? Second point, how can you use your CRM strategy for achieving your how can you fit your CRM strategy to your corporate overall strategy? How can you support that? So that you need to explain, right? So from doing that, so you need to explain some of the positives. That means how you can bring the customer experiences into this to this report, and try to convince your board of directors why it is important, right? While you're doing, what are the problems you may going to come up, right? So one factor is now, because people are changing, the new technology is coming up, so you need to look at it, all these things, and the new technology can fit into your existing IT systems, IT platform, which fitting to your core banking. So all these factors are some of the problems you're going to come across, right? You need to explain. And then, so you need to explain a little bit of, I know it's difficult, but try to see the budgets, because why you to do that, you need some money, right? So for that, you need to get a support from board of directors, you say. And you are just give some idea. You can talk to your IT guy. So what may be the total cost? Average cost is not exactly. So how can you you have to propose the budget to the board of directors, and then only the, because of you look at it your report, and so then the board will give permission to you to proceed the this program, right? That is what very briefly we are expecting from you from this assignment, right? So you don't want to go for more technical side, but so you want to explain what is CRM. I'm just repeating again, what is CRM, why it is benefited to the organization, and things like that. The second part is how the CRM strategy fitting to your overall corporate strategy, right? So what is your corporate strategy? So provide a better customer services. So that is your corporate, thereby improve your profitability. So how you support your CRM to do that, right? And having said that, when you're going to apply these things, what are the problems you're going to come across? Maybe some issues about employees technical know-how and all these things, right? You can just think as far as is applicable to you. And um, then how, if you can, how to overcome this then, right? And propose some budgets, and then you come up with sorry, this is a report format. So you, right? So it is approximately 1,500 to 2,000 words, and mind you, excluding all these references, and you are given deadline not by me but given by the institution is on 21st November 2020. There's no any assignments, only this assignment this time. So I have given some marks. About your areas you need to concentrate on, that 25% for in-depth knowledge about your topic, local logical thinking and analytical skills, and applications theories to selected company. I mean, so in this year we call them as the banks, what you call these, the Royal Bank of Sri Lanka, and any references material and professional presentation. Now, presentations mean, how you make a report. Then, of course, don't copy. So don't copy it from your friends. Usually, we are expecting, we call them, I don't want to put into more details, we call them as is Harvard business style or any accepted business style. So you need to prepare this assignment. Don't worry. So you're going to earn 20 marks on that. So, right, you need any clarifications on assignments? Any clarification? Please ask any language සිංහලෙන් අහන්න කැමති නම් මේ අපි ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් මේ individual written submission එකේ බලාපොරොත්තු වන්නේ මේ කොහොමද මේ අපි සඳහන් කරපු මේ ලංකාවේ Royal Bank of Sri Lanka කියන බැංකුවක අපි commercial බැංකුවක අපිට අවශ්‍ය වෙලා තියෙනවා හොඳ ගණතුරුකාර සේවාවක් ලබා දෙන්න මේ customer relationship management එක යටතේ ඒ යටතේ අපි ඔබ පත් කරලා තිනවා ඔබ බැංකුවට joint වෙනවා මේ ප්‍රධාන chief relationship officer වශයෙන් ඔයාට කළමනාකාරීත්වයෙන් කියනවා බෝඩ් එකට මේ report එකක් හදන්න කියලා කොහොමකෝ මේ ඔගොල්ලන්ගේ එක ආයතනයේ ඔබ්ජෙක්ටිව් එකක් තමයි මොකද්ද මේ ගනුදෙනුකාර සේවාවක් ලබා දීම තුලින් ඔවුන්ගේ අවශ්‍යතාවයන් සපුරාම තුලින් අපේ ලාභ ලබා ගන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ ප්‍රධාන ඒ සඳහා කොහොමද මේ CRM උපාය මාර්ග උපකාරී වෙන්නේ? කොහොමද මේ CRM මාර්ග උපකාරී වෙන්නේ? ඒකෙන් ඒක ක්‍රියාත්මක කරගෙන යනකොට ඔයාට ඇති වෙන ප්‍රශ්න, ඒකට ලැබෙන වාසි මොකද්ද? මේක ක්‍රියාත්මක වීමේදී ඇති වෙන ගැටලු මොන වගේද? ඕන එකක් දාන්න පුළුවන්. That is your creativity. Then ඊට පස්සේ අපිට මේ සදා කොපමණ මුදලක් නිකන් rough estimate එකක බෝඩ් එකට අපි පේපර් එකක් දානවා කියන්නේ approval එක. එක approval එකක් තමයි මේක ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්නේ. මේ plan එක ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්නේ. දෙවෙනි එක තමයි ඒ සඳහා අවශ්‍ය මුදල්. right? ඊට පස්සේ ඉතින් ඔය ලියන විදිහට දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කියනවා තව ප්‍රසන්ට් දැන් බෝඩ් එකට මේක ප්‍රසන්ට් නැත්නම් මේ බෝඩ් එක report එක දාපුවම බෝඩ් maybe බෝඩ් එක සමහරලාට තව දුරටත් ඇහුවොත් එහෙම මම ඒකටත් ලෑස්ති ඕන තව උත්තර කියන්න මේකට ඒ තමෝ මේක කරන්න පුළුවන් කියන කම්පිටන්ට් එක විදිහට තමයි ලියන්න ඕනේ. හරිද? එහෙමනම් මේක දැන් මේක ලියලාම ඔන්න හොඳ CRM එක ගැන අවබෝධයක් එනවා. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ බැංකුවේ වශයෙන්ුත් ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ බැංකුවේ එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් තියෙනවා මේක පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. බැංකුවේ භාවිතා කරන CRM ඒ ආශ්‍රිතව යම් තොරතුරු එහෙන් ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක කිසිම ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. හරි ඕන ටෙස්ට් බුක් එකක් එහෙම නැත්නම් කේස් ස්ටඩි එකක් ඕන එකක් බලලා ලියන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් මේකෙන් අර තමුන්ගේ ඒ හැකියාවන් පිළිබඳ අලුත් විදියට ලිවීමේ හැකියාව පිළිබඳ වැඩි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට අමාලි අමා ධනංජනි මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවද අහන්න. මේ assignment එක සම්බන්ධයෙන් නැත්නම් ඕන කෙනෙකුට assignment එකක් සම්බන්ධයෙන් clarify කරන්න මොන හරි දෙයක් තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න. දැන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට deadline එකක් දීලා තියෙනවා 21st November. ඒවා වෙනස් කරනවා නම් මොන හරි මේනකට කතා කරන්න. ඉතින් මට දුන්න deadline එක තමයි මේක දීලා තියෙන්නේ. right? මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා assignment එක සම්බන්ධයෙන්. يعني ඊළඟ සුමානේ මම හිතන්නේ performance වලට කෙනෙක් ඒයි මම දන්නේ නැහැ කවුද කියලා. මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවද? ගැටලුවක් තියෙනවද? අකිල මොන හරි if you have any problem අකිල? right? No problem? Too many problems. මොන හරි තියෙනවද? right. තේරෙනවද නේද අකිල? right? okay then Amali you understood? මොන හරි තේ ගැටලුවක් තියෙනවද clarify කරගන්න?
Understood sir.
right. okay then Dhananjani මොන හරි ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැද්ද? ඕකේද? if anything Right, sure. Okay, this Ramesh Razak is asking if I have a problem, we will email. You know, my email is given, no? Right? I have given my email number. You can just ask for me. You can just drop me, or otherwise, I give you my mobile number. If okay, also, my number is not 777. I have not put it here. First you send me an SMS, and then I will call you. Otherwise, I may not answer unknown numbers. So my number is not 777 864 202, not 777 864 202. If you have any problem, just send me an SMS and or email. I will call you. Please put your email as well as your telephone number. If I time permit, I will call you. Right? I'll expecting for you to write a nice assignment. Right? So that's nothing much. Individual written submission, don't copy. Okay? Any more questions? Any more thing to clarify before I wind up today a little earlier? මොන හරි තියනවද තව අහන්න? Right? තියනවද? Eshan, are there anything to ask from me? No? Eshan, chat එකක්වත් දාන්න. Unmute කරලා කියන්න. Okay. තේරුණාද? Then right. මට මේ අනිත් එක Eshan, right. Others' names are not appearing here. So that's the issue. Right. Okay then. So there's no questions. So I will stop today. So it's on 5:10 or 5:12. So hope there may be a question also coming on the newspaper and the exam paper that also carry 20 marks. So basically 40 marks from this subject. So you can pass provided that you study hard. Okay. So Tivagaran, who just joined, you understood the case study, sorry, the assignment. Tivagaran, okay. Hari, come up there. So Akila, I have a problem. Yes, please tell. So tell me, you can chat me, or you said you have a problem. Which way you want to clarify now? You want to communicate with you all later on? Please. Right? Okay. So you said you have a problem. So, but you are not clear. Some issue with my mind. Okay, then you can have a chat now. I can hide. Sure. The mama in the you will email to me, or I can stay if you have a problem. Okay, doesn't matter, I think. Yes, please mean you will send me a note or send me an email, or you may communicate to me through the phone or SMS or whatever preferred language, or otherwise I have to wait here to answer your question. Right. Okay, you send me an email. Thank you. So I hope if you have any problem, please communicate to me. I will try to help you in all the ways, right? Okay, thank you, and thank you very much for being with me for entire 3 days. So I hope there's a good crowd. Usually it's I made to understand around 10-15 attended, but yeah, so for the last 3 days almost all the students were with listen to my lecture. So please, and try to apply at least small area what we have taught, right? That's the important things. So a lot of issues are coming from your CEOs and your management. One fellows, most of the complaints are coming to us. So you're having the qualification, but you are not applying in the real life situation. So otherwise there's no point, no. So therefore try to apply at least one thing for your bank, right? Right. Thank you very much. and I will see you next another course, some area. Thank you very much, and have a safe weekend, and have a safe uh, period, right, in the post-COVID. Thank you very much.